Today's date is June 23rd, 2020, Tuesday. The time is approximately 10:38 a.m. I'm approximately on 3 hours and 57 minutes on my Sony digital voice recorder. I'm also at my, this video, this statement is being made out to the Manitoba government to the attention of Premier Brian Pallister and Attorney General Cliff Cullen. And I will be asking, and this is to advise right away, there's no powers of attorney over me. Absolutely no person has my permission to be acting on my behalf or collecting information on my behalf without my knowledge or consent. Any person doing that, saying they're acting on behalf of a powers of attorney via mental health, I'm going to be alleging they're participating in organized crime and government fraud in a conspiracy level cover-up kind of deal, if you will. So absolutely not a single person or soul has my permission to be acting on my behalf or trying to prepare any complaints or any lawful materials that I've been doing for the last 3 years. That would be a conspiracy to commit major fraud and obstruction of justice. So first and foremost, I just wanted to say that I am making a request to get assistance from the Witness Security Act of Manitoba, so provincial legislation. I am preparing a case. The Manitoba government's in possession of my emails. They seem to acknowledge it, but they won't send me a letter, so I'm concerned there's something more going on there. But my case is that I would like to ask, because this is going to be a complex case. It's going to be unprecedented, like unheard of, and this is all police and justice officials. This is not your regular criminals that are being charged for drug possessions and things like that. These are all assistant deputy ministers, chief judges, the chief of police, police inspectors in charge of internal affairs, law enforcement review commissioners, judges. So this is going to be one of I suspect there's going to be significant media attention on these allegations. I don't have all the information laid out, but there's going to be about close to 25 to 30 offenders on the May 13, 2017 incidents here. So what I'm asking for at this point is, I just want to make a quick inventory, but I'm asking for the government, if Attorney General Clifford Cullen or Premier Brian Pallister, if they could consider releasing the immediate funds of $1,000 to me after they get my package and my request. And the purpose of this request is to finalize my request for witness security. And I have absolutely no money to proceed to do anything. I spent all of my rent money, and if it wasn't for COVID-19, I wouldn't even have money to do this. But I spent virtually all my rent money, and I would have been done most of this, but another incident had occurred, and that would be the Darius incident, May 9th, 2020. I suspect that's a major incident case here, probably a major conspiracy against me. It implicates human trafficking and things of that nature. So based on what I'm just showing right now with the Justice Department complaint and the human trafficking of Darius, I'm asking for witness security on those two incidents. Particularly to the Darius incident, I'm preparing a lyric complaint. I'm going over about a little over a month now. I spent close to $500 preparing materials, doing my best, the best way I could, other than, calling and keep repetitively calling police and justice and government to see if they've taken any action. So I did the best thing I could, and that costed me spending most of my social assistance check. I'm facing eviction, and I'm going through the things that I'm going through. So I was hoping the government on that ground would be considerate that I spend my money. And I have receipts. It's not meticulous, my receipts, but the receipts are there. It's 100% I'm doing this, and no one else can take credit. If anyone else is trying to say they're doing this, I would look at having them charged right away. And also, another thing I want to bring up was there was an incident at the Grace Hospital that implicates the Manitoba government and Garda World Security. It's my mother, Karen Hastings. She passed away about 9 months ago. And this incident happened on a birthday by that man right there. And she would know about these incidents. And I was assaulted over my mother. It wasn't a serious assault. It was a minor assault. But the fact was that this happened. It appears to be a targeted incident, and that my mother had estimated days to live, and this security officer, contracted by the Manitoba government at a hospital, had taken his time to intimidate, harass, that what led to an assault over my dying mother. So I was hoping, again, that I'm going to be making a crimes against humanity and war crime intimidation on that complaint, because I've been pursuing the Christopher James Spears as well. But based on those these three things that I pointed out, so the May 13th, these are all signatures of Greg Ursefo, Mary Campos, Greg Skelly, the Winnipeg Police, the Chief Judge, their signature forgeries as well, the commissioners. My case for the Lira is overwhelming. People are going to be charged, and it's going to be a major corruption case here. And it's just not about them forwarding the complaints to the IIU or to the Attorney General. Like, I'm actually pursuing criminal conspiracy allegations within their decisions as to why they're acting as an accessory. So not only am I saying they acted as an accessory, but at this point in time, I'm going to say all these senior justice officials are participating in a major conspiracy to obstruct the course of justice on my complaints. And the reason for that, at this point, the motive for that, I'm going to be alleging crimes against humanity and intimidation. That would be the resulting death of my mother, Karen Hastings, at the Grace Hospital, and it would be also the resulting incident of Darius here. I'm going to be 500-page complaint. So I just wanted to show that here's my inventory. These are all legit. These are letters from the Chief Judge, the Judiciary Inquiry Board, things like that. And I just wanted to be for certain. The evidence on the May 13th, again, I had no sweater. They lied. They fabricated a reason, and they did it as a conspiracy, and it's evolved into a government corruption case. I would like to personally pursue the case. I don't want anyone trying to muscle into what I've been doing, because no one actually cared about this ever. Don't get me wrong, if there's people out there that are wanting to help, and don't get me wrong, yes, I definitely would like to eventually get some assistance, and I'm not turning that opportunity away, if you will. So this, the May 13th complaint, though, and I'll be quick, had reached right from the Professional Standards Unit to LIRA, to the IIU, to the courts, to the Chief Judge, to the Winnipeg Police Board, to the Assistant Deputy Ministers of Justice, to the Chief of Police, to the Chief Judge, to the Judiciary Inquiry Board, and all the way to the Court of Queen's Bench. And that's signed by 3 federal judges. And they all knowingly known that I made reports that they're supposed to be forwarding these stuff over, mandatory legislation, and they all neglected it and chose to do so. I'm going to be alleging the reason they're being so bold in their crimes here is because these judges and justice officials and police chiefs all knew they were going to commit these crimes on me, or something bad was going to happen, such as my mother passing away and stumbling upon a pantless Darius. So I'm going to be asking, based on the incidents and the obstructions and the allegations, I'm going to be moving towards crimes against humanity for this May 13th complaint as well. And when I would say crimes against humanity, this complaint has made it everywhere. Even the Canadian government, Justin Trudeau's office, is aware of this complaint. This is a request information form that I made, and this gives all the details, well, most of it when I first started it. So this means they're aware of it. And this one was made out to Justin Trudeau. I believe everyone has copies of these that are, So under that even the federal government, plus, along with, I forgot to mention, in 2017, Deputy Prime Minister Ralph Goodale had also sent me a letter, but they refused to give me the original letter and signature. But they, on this matter, and he had advised me to take this up with LIRA. So this case and allegations has made it to the Canadian government twice. So once in the beginning, once now. And I'm just going to ask the Attorney General, because I'm not trying to pursue the Canadian government for this case. This is all where it is, right? In the province, I have my evidence, and I'm not trying to go after the Canadian government for this. However, under the provisions of the Witness Protection Act for Canada, so the federal witness protection, I believe attorney generals for a province could ask for emergency funding or some kind of funding from the Canadian government. So I would ask the Attorney General in the circumstances, and I would hope he would add that if we can resolve it, or if the Attorney General is willing to assist in a witness security and possible my complaints get registered and processed in accordance with law, that he would consider maybe asking for the Canadian government to provide some emergency funding, and that we go from there, because they have the allegations, the case is made out, it's there. And I think that's about it for that one. But again, I just wanted to do a quick inventory. So these are all the original documents. So this would have been from the Justice Department, from Mary Campos, and this would say they closed the file right away. And this implicates City Hall, you name it. Greg Graceffo, and this would he's implicated as an accessory to forgery and obstructing justice on the liras. And that would be Greg's Graceffo. That would also mean Kim Nicholson, the Manitoba Justice Department themselves were also aware of this as early as April 2018. These are the levels of the Winnipeg Police. So I made a complaint to the Professional Standards Unit. I made a secondary one made out to a sergeant, Sergeant Hawes. He refuses to hear anything I have to say. And lastly, to Chief Danny Smythe for a Winnipeg Police Complaint Board for the complaint. This goes out to the federal government. No action, it's just a request proving they're in possession of these records. And these are all other, and these were FIPA releases from Greg Graceffo. This one was from Scott Colby. But these FIPA releases, the contents of what was released, proves my allegations, meaning the evidence is in the FIPA releases. These are slam dunk cases. Anyone that touched the cases or refused to, to move it forward, are all gonna, will be charged for this. Those are my submissions, and that's from Greg Graceffo, right there. So with that being, and then this is from the prosecution side. That was Lyra and the police, and there was the prosecution aspect of this as well. This all comes from the prosecutors or the Attorney General's office for FIPA releases and other relating documents. And they outright just started denying me. At first it was Greg Graceffo releasing this stuff, and then it came to this guy, and they just outright just started denying everything and sending me weird documents. So I suspect government fraud at that office. And these would be from the Chief Judge, Margaret Weeb, and several other judges. The other judges involved in this case refused to sign the documents. So I'm concerned that the Chief Judge may be implicated in this possible conspiracy. I don't know, but the Chief Judge has provided sufficient evidence for me to pursue them at the way I am. So I'm not complaining about something I don't have evidence for. And then I think that pretty well covered. And then just to note that when I say I'm going to be laying my own informations, I made out my own, hand-printed submissions. And this is to say that I intend on laying my own informations, that I intend on going before a staff justice or a judge, maybe even in this case, they might refer to a judge. If they could, that the author, the complainant, the witness, I would like to pursue this case myself, that I'm able to do it. I might even enter a private prosecution. I'm not fully understanding of what that is, but I might be able to prosecute these cases myself, I think, is what I've been told. And for supporting laying of the information, these are the letters that I'll be sending, and the stuff that I'm sending right away. So it's a long video, I'll leave it at that, and I'm going to go out, I'm going to go send some emails to the Minister Cliff Cullen. I'm going to advise him of what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm going to show him this video. And for the human trafficking of Darius, this is supposed to be forwarded because I'm alleging criminal charges against the police involved, and disclosure of possible criminal offenses. So I'm just going to go to the legislative building and give this stuff to the Attorney General and see what he does from there. And I think that pretty well covers it. And I'll obviously make another video. I just wanted to show throughout the day that I am doing this. And I noticed if anyone was commenting on the fingerprints in the background, my wallpaper, if you will. I have reason to believe that I'm being subject to a possible conspiracy cover-up. So I just wanted to make sure that people aren't coming in here wiping my prints off of things and saying, like I can't even improve if I even, people, you get what I'm saying? So the reason I did that is because those are my fingerprints, and I would notice if people were coming in here and wiping those off. So push comes to shove, all it takes is a bit of water to get rid of that. And I thought it was just a humorous thing. There's another reason I did it. I'm going to be taking pictures of this, and I may even send it to the Attorney General from that particular request, and he might find it amusing. He'll see what I mean.